The best-selling manga in history is finally, as The Rock would say, finally coming back this week. And I'm like, bro, it's time, man. Inject it. Out of all the things I want to see many different things. But this week, please, Oda, please. I just want to see the location change that says in the top right of the page. I don't care if it's in the middle of the page, on top of the page, on bottom of the page. It don't matter. I just wanted to say, Oda Box, rooftop Onigashima injected. I want to become one with the individuals on the moon who are watching this fight and they're eating popcorn. They're eating whatever they got. They're talking to Enno. They're like, yo, Enno, what's good, homie? You watching this? You watching your boy? The man who gave you the fattest L in your entire career? Are you watching what he's doing to the dragon? Are you watching what he's doing to Lesnar? Are you watching what he's doing to Kaido? Like, I need it. Let me be a part of the crowd, man. When Luffy and Kaido are building on a show. Yo, please. I want it so bad. I need that roof piece action in my existence. I need it so bad. After the amazing battle with Law and Kid and Big Mom, the main thing that I want is for a continuation of 1037. I need to see Luffy and Kaido. I need to see the goat with the goat. And the man of the 100 beasts. The man whom in the latest episode lifted the entire island in the nastiest of ways. I mean, he's a menace. He's nasty. And I love Kaido, bro. And I need to see the two of them throwing down for the culture. They gotta be throwing down for the culture, man. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn on the camera and we're gonna talk about some stuff I would love to see in 1041, because for sure, I want Oda to break every single last one of my ankles. But this is what I love to see, man. I honestly think that we're getting a reversal of 1037. What I mean by that is 1037 started off very heavy, Luffy versus Kaido. Ended off last 2 pages on Joy Boy, Zunisha, Gorosei type lore. Now, if we start off the chapter, and that junk says Sacred Mighty Joa, or like Undersea Impel Down, and it's Don Quixote D of Flamingo, or it's one of the 5 Gorosei members, and they're just talking. They're just having a casual conversation, and they bring up the name Joy Boy, and that's how we go over, we transition into Momonosuke and Yamato having a conversation about Zunisha being Joy Boy's companion and everything that Momonosuke has come to understand about this individual and about the crime that was committed 800 years ago. If we at the very least get an overview, a sentence, giving us more lore piece, I will be more than satisfied, because it's about that time. And it would perfectly connect into getting us back on the roof. Because either A, we're going to get a situation where Zunisha itself is going to be calling out and communicating with Momonosuke, and that sound is going to reach Luffy and Kaido, and that's when we go into that transition sequence that I've been talking about into potentially Kaido's flashback, right? But it could very well be the case as well that in the middle of their conversation between Yamato and Momonosuke, finding out more about the Zunisha and everything that happened back then, we're going to have a moment to where, and then someone down the line is going to carry Joy Boy's will. And we'll probably get a couple panels of Momonosuke, Yamato, page will flip, and it will be just like the chapter 1000 situation where we had beginning of the chapter dedicated Ace and Yamato talking about the new generation that would come in 20 years later. We'll probably get a similar panel here with, since we're heading into the final part of Luffy versus Kaido, it'll probably be Momonosuke being like, you know what, Zunisha spoke of a Joy Boy in the future, a Joy Boy who would carry the title, a Joy Boy who would carry the legacy 800 years in the future. And there you would have two of the competitors, two of the contestants to carry on that name. And the goat with the coat and Kaido in a beautiful double spread. That's what I would love to see it. On top, you see Rooftop Onigashima, and I'm like, all right, we're here. That's how we continue on that battle, and we'll go up in like swimwear. Now, I'm not sure if we're gonna have some incredible fighting choreography this week in terms of like how we did last chapter. I mean, that jump was awesome, man. So many awesome fighting sequences. All right, I'm talking about 1037, like whenever they were throwing down continuously. You had drunk Kaido and sober Kaido and angry Kaido. I mean, that was just, it was awesome stuff. Peak comedy, but also some really good action sequences. So I don't know if we'll get something on to that level, but I do think this week the chapter will end in a way in which it will take us into the next part of this grandiose battle. So this week could end with Luffy, for example, finally going Gear 4th. And that would be huge because that would mean the following chapter would be Gear 4th, go with the coat, conquers coated 12s on his feet. Luffy up against Kaido, especially if Kaido's in hybrid form and we see him with the mace out and it's just oozing energy. And Luffy's like, oh, it's time. It's time. You know what I mean? No, that would be filthy. If this week's chapter ends with Luffy just going Gear 4th and then it's like a new name, Tiger Man, of course, being the more popular one. I highly doubt that we'll get Gear 5th this chapter. Even if Gear 5th is a thing, I think we'll probably wait like a little bit longer. I think Luffy would have to exhaust everything in his arsenal before he goes to something like Gear 5th. That's just the way that I would handle it, right? Just knowing, for example, in the way that Zoro vs. King was handled, where he did every single special move he's ever had in his arsenal before he started moving into the King of Jigoku stuff with Enema and whatnot. So we'll probably have Luffy in this week, potentially the week after that, in Gear 4th, Bound Man, Snake Man, might even see a little Tank Man, but I think mainly Bound Man and Snake Man, maybe switching between the two as he's going between speed and force. So like he's moving with Snake Man as fast as he can, maybe delivering blows in Bound Man. That would be a really cool showcase of mastery, especially if the attacks are filled with Conqueror's coding. So he knows he's going to be on an even stricter time limit than usual, utilizing as much Haki as he's using. So if he sees that it's still not putting Kaido down, that's whenever he transitions over into, all right, let's go Gear 5th or Gear 4th, new form or whatever it is. Because I'm pretty sure before going into this and before seeing the massive showcase that we just saw from Law and Kid, I was like, you know what? Maybe Luffy's just going to go in with the Conqueror's coding. Maybe his moment in this arc of power-up-wise was 10-10. Like, he got his Conqueror's coding. Now it's time for him to go in. And that more than likely may be the case. But I do think because I know Oda wants Luffy to be the star of the show and to go in there like swimwear, I'm going to assume new form is incoming because and if he gives him Awakening, that would be even bigger. Considering that like I said, if we go and we have a Mari Joa conversation talking about Joy Boy, we could even continue the fruit conversation that they had to change their name to the Annals of History, which so many different fruits that we were talking about that week. And of course, the Gomu Gomu no Mi being up there, part of the conversation. Momonosuke's fruit, Kaido's fruit, a lot of stuff. Yamato's fruit was brought up. A lot of these fruits were brought up in that conversation. But if we have a continuation of that, and then we see Luffy go into his awakening, the same way that we saw with Law and Kid, and it would be huge, right? Because he would have to go into his final trump card after using everything that he has. So I'm super excited because Luffy versus Kaido has already been such an amazing just fight so far. I mean, they've been throwing hands, they've split the skies. The massive battle, or the original Roof Feast battle and Roof Feast Part 2, which is both of them. I mean, it's been amazing. So now, if we start getting to the point in the fight, when Luffy's like, it's time for me to go all in, because if not, I'm not going to win. And he goes in and he uses Gear 4th. Like, maybe he doesn't even go like this. Maybe we start off the next part of their fight with him already in Gear 4th, and they're throwing down. And I'd be like, let's go! And we start seeing new Gear 4th attacks, whether it be in Snake Man or in Bound Man, attacks that we've seen before. He's just using everything in his arsenal. And then it's like, you know what? And the thing is that I'm interested in is Kaido. What else is Kaido going to bring to the table in regards to their battle? And I think that's going to be interesting to see in regards to what happened last chapter with him going in and out of certain forms and whatnot. So I wonder what Kaido's gonna bring out. I wonder what type of move, what type of move set he's going to be utilizing here in the final part of this battle, because it's mainly been the mace versus hands. It's going to be interesting whenever you have mace again versus hands, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a gear fourth, let's just say a Kong gun coming with Conqueror's coating, and let's just say that Kaido goes in for like a Thunder Bagua and that clashes. Oh my god. You see, 923 set up like the perfect rematch type of moment where Luffy went in to try to hit him with one of his strongest attacks. Kaido goes in, Thunder Bagua one-shots him. How awesome would it be? Kaido's like, oh, you went into this form again. Let's see how you handle this. Brings out Ghost Thunder Bagua, goes in to try to hit him. Luffy goes up in like swimwear, goes in Kong gun, and it's just, you see a Conqueror's Hockey Clash of just absolute legend, man. I mean, it's just everything. The floor is shaking. Onigashima moving, and everybody's like, "Yo, what's going on? Is it an earthquake?" And they're like, "No, that's the go with the code." And Kaido throwing down. Especially after last chapter, or they were fighting 1037. Whenever they bashed heads, and they had that headbutt, throwing hands. Right? We just love to see it. But so many different possibilities. But 100%, I am expecting a reversal of 1037 in the next chapter with the Joy Boy stuff. I'm pretty sure it's going to take up a majority of the chapter, which I'm excited for. I need some more lore piece. But I think it's time for lore piece and roof piece. Another banger with where both of them come together in one chapter. We're probably going to start off, like I said, with, if it's not going to be Momonosuke and Yamato, it's probably going to, it might even go around the world. You know what I mean? And be like, all right, Joy Boy conversation with the Mari Joa. That would be amazing. I would love that. But I'm pretty sure we're not going to go back to the Mari Joa for now. So that's just my, like, holy flag nars. That'll be amazing. But you never know. Beyond imagination, right? So we'll probably start off with Momonosuke and Yamato. If we don't start off there, we might start off with something like Izo and CP0. Maybe we might finally get answers to what happened with Zoro and Grim. We gotta find out there. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I'm super excited to see what happened there. So, well, we could go to any of those at this point, but I do think at the very least a majority of the chapter will go to Yamato, Momonosuke's conversation, Zunisha speaking to Momonosuke, telling him about what happened 800 years ago. At the very least, like an overview, a summary. So we'll find out a little bit about it before we see the full thing, I'm pretty sure, at the end of this arc, because I'm sure it connects to Toki. It has to connect to Toki. So when we find out more about the Kozuki clan, we'll find out more about Toki, we'll find out more about Joy Boy and Zunisha and what really took place there. Really big clue to the Void Century. So probably get that at the end of the arc, but I think we're going to get at the very least a summary, overview, sentence, something this week. And then after that, we'll talk about the Joy Boy that will carry on that torch, that will carry on that legacy in the future. Switch over to Luffy versus Kaido. Luffy will finally enter Gear 4th, and we'll be in like swimwear to get ready for this awesome month of One Piece chapters coming in. That's what I've got. I can't wait for Oda to break my ankles and just prove all of that wrong. But until then, I'm super excited. I cannot wait to see what's going to go down in chapter 1041. What you think's going to happen in this week's chapter in the comment section down below. I look forward to reading that. But until next time, have an awesome day. One Piece greatness. Let's go, man. Luffy versus Kaido's about to go in. You already know it's about to go in. So hyped, man. Roof piece, lore piece. We need it. We need it.